Hi, it's Steve, the co-founder of ChampionshipFantasyFootball.com and co-creator of this value-based drafting tool. Now, before I show you this tool, two things to note. One, if you're unfamiliar with the concept of value-based drafting, go ahead and watch that video where I explain the concept and why it's such a valuable drafting strategy. The link to that video is right underneath this one. And the other thing is you can see in this folder I've got the two bonus tools. If you want to get your hands on those, and they're both really powerful and can help you dominate your draft, all you need to do is share the custom link that you got when you signed up for the VBD tool with two other fantasy players, and once they sign up for the VBD tool, you will get an email instantly with access to these extra resources. So let's get into it and look at the VBD tool. So when you open it, the first thing you're going to notice in the bottom right, it's going to say that it's connecting to the web and getting data. So you're going to need to let it sit for about 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. It's all it takes to get the data from the web. We pull projections from ESPN, CBS, and NFL.com for every player in the NFL. And every time they update their projections on their websites, it gets automatically updated in this tool. So this will always be up to date. You'll always have the latest information guiding your decisions. So the first thing you need to do is go to options up here and enable the content. Now we have no vested interest in giving you a virus or doing anything funny, so you need to enable the content for the tool to work. I'm doing it on my computer right now, so it's probably safe for you to do it on yours. So I'll just cover this in 2 seconds. This is the README tab. Since you're watching how to use this video right now, or rather that you're watching how to use this tool right now, you don't really need to worry about it. So let's start with the league settings tab. Here you're going to put in the specifications of your league. So if you're in a 10-team league instead of a 12, you put that there. You put how many of each starter you have at each position, and then if you have flex players, you can choose how many flexes you have and what positions are eligible to play at that flex position. So if it can only be wide receivers and tight ends, for example, you uncheck the RB box. But if it can be any position player, you have them all checked. And then you go in and you put in how much each stat is worth. So you might be in a league where passing touchdowns are worth 6 and interceptions are worth -2. And you might be in a league that doesn't have any points per reception. But we're going to go with a pretty standard league here. The next thing you do is you go to the Players tab. And what you can see here in the league FPTS columns, that's the average of the projections that ESPN, CBS, and NFL have for that player according to the league settings that you put in earlier. So if we made this worth 6, you'd see Aaron Rodgers is projected to score 435 points, or rather Drew Brees, and if passing touchdowns are worth 4, you can see they get knocked down to like the 350 range. So that's a big difference, and it's important. So what you can then do is you can edit the adjustment columns for each position. So if you think that Colin Kaepernick, for example, is going to have a great year, you can make his adjustment some number over 100%. And if you think Tom Brady's going to have a bad year, you can adjust it to some number under 90%. So not only are you getting the projections from 3 really respected sites, but you have total control over it. So it's not just some tool dictating you what's going to be. You have control and you can personalize it. So if you think players are going to have great seasons, you can make that happen. If you think players are going to have bad seasons, you can make that happen as well. So once you're done with all your customizations for QB, RB, WR, and TE, then you want to go to the Cheat Sheet tab. And so you'll see on this tab, these columns, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, is basically what you see on the Players tab, but it's a little cleaner, and it's great for printing out or just having by your side when you're actually at your draft. And it will tell you how many points they're projected to score based on your league settings and the adjustments that you may have made. But here's the key column, and it's the overall. This is where value is calculated. And value is the main metric that we calculate in VBD. So again, if you haven't watched that video, go back and watch it. But you can see based on everything that is put into these parameters, Adrian Peterson and Calvin Johnson tie as the most valuable player at 121 points of value and down the line. So this can help guide you when you're doing your draft. And once you get down to 50 or even lower, you're going to want to start thinking about drafting for need and also consider supply and demand of various players instead of just drafting straight for value. But this tool is highly customizable. It's powerful. The concept has been touted by fantasy experts all over, including Matthew Berry and Christopher Harris from ESPN, and we think that it will be a key component, a cornerstone of your draft strategy. And if you have any questions about how to use the tool, please email us championshipfantasy@gmail.com. And again, if you want to get your hands on either the bonus tools, or rather on both the bonus tools, remember to share your customized link with at least 2 other fantasy players, and as soon as they sign up, you're going to get immediate access to those. And make sure you don't share it with your competition, because then you're going to be losing your competitive advantage. But I'm sure you've got a relative, a friend, coworker, classmate, whatever, who loves fantasy football, is not in any of your leagues, and could use just a little bit of help. Reach out to them, share with them. They'll be in your debt, and when they win their league, they know who to thank. All right, champ. I'll see you around.